Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to an efficient workflow for creating a webtoon. This is probably going to be a long one because we are covering every step by step from start to finish. And we are starting like at the very beginning, creating your canvas. How to prepare your canvas. As you probably know, webtoon have their own file size requirements. Each individual webtoon image is 800 x 1280 pixels with a maximum size of 2 megabytes. Sure, in English region there is a feature that let you upload directly from Clip Studio Paint. But what about other regions like Indonesia? Yes, that feature doesn't exist here. So, when you are preparing your webtoon, I recommend creating your canvas in a long format that already meets the required width. You can combine 5, 10, or even 15 slices in one canvas. Just keep in mind that the larger your canvas is, the heavier it gets. And if your device isn't strong enough, of course, it will lag. For me, I usually go with 15 slices in a single canvas, which end up being 800 x 90 to 100 pixels. By the way, if you want to create a comic or webtoon using page management, select the project from the second tab. But this feature is only available in Clip Studio Paint EX. For the page setting, just pick the option at the bottom, and the interface will look like this. If you want to add a new page, just right-click and choose Next Page, which automatically use the same dimension, or Add Page where you can set a new canvas size. Don't worry if your canvas feels too short or too long, you can simply use Clip Studio features to extend or crop your canvas as needed. Typically, for drama, romance, and similar genre, creators use for about 4 until 5 pages, with around 60 until 80 panels. For action or fantasy, it can be way more, sometimes even 100 of panels. Before you start creating a panel, you might wonder how to visualize what your page will look like on a mobile device. Well, you can turn on the on-screen area webtoon feature. Set the ratio to 1:2 and your webtoon will display like this, showing a brighter highlighted area that represents what reader will see on their phone screen. So, what is the point of this feature? A good webtoon is the one that's easy to read. With this preview, you can plan out your panel placement, text balloon, and sizing, so things doesn't end up too overcrowded and make your reader screen feel cramped. And now, your canvas is ready, but before we jump into paneling, there is one feature you really need to know. When you are making a webtoon, you will face a ton of layers, so keeping things organized is a lifesaver. That's why you should plan your layer management ahead of time. Otherwise, you will spend half of your life scrolling around looking for that one lost layer. Here is a trick. You can color code your layer and folder. For example, instead of renaming the folder every time I make a webtoon, I use my own color system. Is this mandatory? Of course not, but if you are not working alone and someone asks you to edit the line art, you don't want to dig through hundreds of unnamed layers. Just look for folder with a yellow label and done. Oh, and some of you might not have the search layer feature enabled yet. Here is how to turn it on. Open window and look for search layer and click to activate it. A new search layer tab will appear. You can drag it next to your layer panel so it's easier to access. Now you can use this feature to speed up your workflow and avoid layer chaos. And now time to make the panels. Let's talk about masking layers. If you have made a comic before, you might be familiar with the frame border feature, where Clip Studio Paint automatically creates frames with a built-in mask, so anything you draw outside the frame won't show up. Sounds convenient, right? Well, for me, it actually complicates my workflow, since my webtoon actually have a ton of effects both inside and outside the panel. That's why I prefer using vector layer and shape tool to create my panel manually. Then I apply masking specifically inside my line art folder. For example, in this panel, the background overlaps with the line art. Instead of erasing the line art, it's better to mask it. Why? Because if you delete it, it's gone forever. But with masking, you can simply toggle the mask on or off, and the original line art comes back instantly. Alright, after setting up your panels, it's time for creating the storyboard. A storyboard is basically a rough sketch version of your webtoon, your way of translating the script into visual form. You can make a new folder just for your storyboard and start sketching your character and background. But since we are using Clip Studio, there is a faster method, using 3D models. All you have to do is drag a character model from your asset library into your canvas. Then, adjust the poses however you like. Some of you might struggle with posing the model manually, but no worries, you can search the poses template in the asset store, then drag the pose directly into your model on the canvas. Or, another way, you can use the Posemaniacs. Open the Posemaniacs features and search the poses you want. Pick the one you like and apply it directly to Clip Studio. The advantage of using this feature is that it helps speed up your process when adjusting the character perspective, especially in panel where the pose stays the same but the camera angle changes. Instead of drawing everything from the scratch, you can just copy and paste the model and adjust the camera. Easy, right? After finishing the sketch phase, we move on to the line art phase. When creating a webtoon, most artists prefer using vector layers. Why? Because if two lines overlap, you can erase the unwanted part with just one click. And when you need to transform your line art, vector layers won't get blurry like the way raster layer do. No pixel damage and no messy lines. To draw on a vector layer, just click the Add Layer icon on the right of the raster layer. That is a vector layer. Once that's done, you can start drawing your line art as usual. If you want to erase overlapping lines on the one tab, select the Eraser tool and enable the Vector Eraser. Choose the middle option, Erase up to intersection, and just like that, you can erase with one click. And next, we are still in the line art phase, but we are mixing a 3D element with 2D elements. Just so you know, in today's booming webtoon industry, studio and artists don't draw every single thing manually anymore. Many of them using 3D assets not just for background, but for various objects too. First, let's talk about adding 3D model as a background. I have a full video about this, but the short version is it works just like using 3D character model for your storyboard. Simply drag the 3D model assets into your canvas and adjust the camera to fit your panel. Second, let's try using 3D model as 3D object inside your panel. You can browse the asset library for item you need. For example, I will show you how to make a chariot scenes, the kind you often see in historical romance manhwa. Just download the assets and drop it into your canvas. Then adjust the lighting and outline settings so it will become more clearer. Once everything looks good, convert the layer from 3D to raster layer. After that, you have two options to turn it into line art. The first option is Extract Line Effects. Activate the Extract Line Effects found next to the borderline effect. You can edit the setting however you like. I use this method, but I don't love the result. The lines were too bold and don't match my line art style. And the second option is Artistic Filter. Go to Filter, Effect, and Artistic, and adjust the setting of your liking. Here is the comparison of two methods. Personally, I prefer the second one, so I don't use the extract line method anymore. And sometimes your line art ends up with proportion that looks a bit off. Some artists prefer erasing and redrawing everything, but others take advantage of the Liquify tool. But wait, Liquify only works on raster layer, right? And yes, you are not wrong, but don't worry, you can convert your vector layer to raster layer temporarily to use Liquify tool. After you are done adjusting, you can just convert the raster layer back into vector layer. Just go to Layer and Convert Layer, then choose Convert to Vector Layer, and just like that, your layer is a vector layer again. Don't forget to readjust the anti-aliasing setting afterward. The previous feature might sound a bit complicated, switching vector to raster and back again, but I just wanted to show you how it works in case any of you ever need it. Honestly, I mostly use Liquify tool on decorative elements anyway, and those aren't things I draw on a vector layer. Now, Clip Studio also lets you create your own custom brushes, and I make full use of that for things like eyeball, clothing pattern in my webtoon. With custom brushes, I don't have to color every single character eyeball manually, or hand-draw detailed fabric pattern over and over again. Here is how to create a custom brushes. First, draw any shape you want. Let's say I make a random design. Select the shape, then go to Edit, Register Material by Image. Rename your material so it's easy to find later. Make sure to check the option at the bottom for whether you want to register it as a texture or a brush tip. Since I'm making a brush tip, I select that option and choose the folder where you want to save it. Next, duplicate any existing brush and replace its brush tip with the material you just created. You can adjust the stroke setting or enable the spray effect to turn it into a scatter brush. With this method, you can create all sorts of custom brushes specifically for your webtoon. And finally, we reach the coloring stage of the webtoon, and here are some tools that can seriously speed up your coloring process. First is the tool for quickly making a base color. I've said this in many of my videos. You can download the Close and Fill tools from Assets library. Here is how to use it. This is the panel I'm going to color, and this is the line art folder. Select the folder and enable the set as reference layer so the little reference icon appears. Next, go to the Close and Fill tool settings. Turn on the Refer Multiple Layers and match it to the folder settings, meaning it also refers to reference layer. For cleaner result, you can copy my setting for area scaling and mode, but feel free to adjust them to what works best for you. Let's try. Just pick a tool, then use the tool to select the area you want to fill. Circle around your character once, and boom! The base color is done. The only potential issue if your line art has a bunch of gaps or broken lines that might make the tool miss some spot, but other than that, it's super fast and super convenient. After done with the base color, next is the tool that you need to know for speed up your shading process, the lasso tool. I have been using this tool ever since the update that introduced it, and honestly, it has dramatically cut down the time I spend shading my webtoon. Sure, some artists prefer using their favorite brushes for shading, and that's totally fine, but for me, as long as it's efficient and get the job done quickly, then I'm using this. Next, let's talk about how to color these decorative elements. As I mentioned earlier, I separate the decoration layer from the character line art layer. That's because the coloring method is quite different. Here is the first method. Duplicate the decoration layer and select the top copy. We are going to turn this into the line art, and the layer underneath will become the base color. Go to Edit, Convert Brightness to Opacity, and the top layer will instantly turn into clean black line art. Now select the bottom layer and enable Lock Transparent Pixel, then recolor it however you like. Easy, right? For the second method, since you already understand the basic concept, you can take the advantage of super handy feature in Clip Studio Paint called Auto Action. First, download an auto action called Bottom Color Separation and place it in your Auto Action tab. Then select the decoration layer you want to color. Choose the color you want and simply double click or hit play on the auto action, and just like that, you are done. Finally, we have reached the finishing stage. During finishing, we actually add decorative brushes, things like flowers, textures, foliage, sparkles, and so on. The problem is many decorative brushes come with their own default color, while your panel is already have its own color tone. So sometimes the panel and the brush color clash, making everything look out of place. You can fix this by adjusting the hue and saturation, but personally, I use color balance more often. For example, a flower brush that originally has a warm red tone can be shifted into a cooler purple tone, making it blend perfectly with the atmosphere of the panel. Easy, right? Sometimes you will want to add texture to give your webtoon panel more variation and depth. Clip Studio Paint Asset Library has ton of built-in texture you can use. Just drag a texture into your canvas, then adjust the layer mode and opacity, overlay, multiply, or whatever fits look for you going for. If you want to add a dot texture, you don't even need an asset. Simply enable the tone feature on the layer, and it will automatically convert into a dot texture layer. You can adjust the dot frequency and even change the type of the dots. Next, let's look at another set of Clip Studio features that can help speed up your finishing process, the Gradient tool and the Gradient Map. This tool lets you apply color gradient to your artwork and even create your own custom color combination. There are two ways to use them. First, select the area where you want the gradient to appear. Then go to Layer, New Layer, gradient and choose the gradient style you want. The second method is just select the gradient tool from the toolbar and use it across your canvas. I use this tool all the time to set the mood of my panel. They are perfect for adjusting the atmosphere, like shifting the scene from morning to afternoon or turning it into a nighttime with just one gradient pull. We are still in the finishing stage, and now let's talk about one of Clip Studio Mode's useful features: filter. With filters, you can easily add effects like focus blur, motion blur, sepia, glitch, mosaic, and even more. It's super simple to use. Let's say I want to apply mosaic effect to this panel and give it a censored looks. First, I duplicate the layer just in case I need an original later. Then merge and duplicate the layer into one. After that, go to filter and choose mosaic effects. Adjust the intensity to your liking, and that's it. It's done. Now we are moving into the typesetting phase. First up is a tool that you can use to create the sound effects. You can start by making a new layer with the borderline effect enabled. Then write the SFX using your own handwriting, or use the text tool and pick the font that fits the mood. To emphasize the sound effect even more, convert the layer back into a raster layer, so the borderline effect become a flattened and no longer editable. After that, using the liquify tool to bend or curve the text and give it more dynamic, expressive looks. We are finally getting close to the last step before publishing. Sometimes you will want to release your comic in multiple languages, and instead of manually editing every single speech balloon one by one, there is a much easier method you can use: the story editor feature. Here is how. First, duplicate the folder containing your dialog text. For example, this folder is my English subtitles. I duplicate it because I want to turn the copy into Indonesian subtitles. Next, go to Story, Edit Text, Story Editor. Here, you will see every dialog line that appears on your webtoon page. Since you duplicate the folder earlier, the Story Editor will show repeated dialog entries. Those repeated lines are the one you should translate. By doing it this way, you don't have to open each balloon manually and rewrite the text inside. Way faster and way cleaner. Finally, the last is publishing. Once you are satisfied with your finished webtoon, it's time to upload it. As I mentioned earlier, if you are publishing on English webtoon, the process is easy because Clip Studio Paint provides the direct upload feature. But what if the feature isn't available in your region, and you have to cut your webtoon into individual pages that meet the requirement? Make sure your complete webtoon canvas is still open. Then go to File, Special Export, Export Webtoon. Choose where you want the file to be saved. I usually lower the quality around 80% because the export file tend to be too large and exceed the webtoon size limit. Next, choose the page range. Choose all page. Then set divide vertically to 1280 pixels, which match the webtoon required format. You will also see how many slices or pages you will get from the export. Now, all you have to do is open the exported image to check everything. Make sure none of the pages are out of order, then upload them normally to Webtoon. Don't forget to double check before hitting publish or schedule to upload if you prefer. And that's it. Those are some tips you can use by making most of the feature in Clip Studio Paint. There are still a lot of other tricks to help you speed up your webtoon workflow, so feel free to check out my other video. There are links in the right or the left, whichever you like. Alright guys, that is for today's video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.